This is The Big Breakdown, a long look back at some of the biggest stories we're covering for you at the Hidden Killers podcast and True Crime Today. This is Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi. Here now, Tony Bruschi.
What you're about to hear is the first of 11 jailhouse phone calls between Stephan Sterns, as you see right here, and his parents. Stephan, as many of you already know, is facing the unthinkable charges of first-degree murder in the death of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. It's a case that we've been covering now for quite some time, and these calls are very eye-opening. He's also charged with child exploitation as well, after evidence revealed that he had been sexually abusing Madeline Soto for many years. In this first call, we're dropped straight into the emotional chaos. Birthdays miss, confusion about charges, logistical issues over commissary, and the jarring contrast of everyday parental love colliding with horrifying legal realities. Pay close attention to his parents and try to give them some grace. There's a complicated dance here they're doing between concern, disbelief, and resignation. They're grappling with the grief of potentially losing their son to the system, while also desperately trying to piece together what led to this moment. Stephan, meanwhile, seems oddly detached, focused more on his belongings and creature comforts, the crushing weight of the allegations. It's heartbreaking, it's infuriating, it's real. Let's take a listen.
Stephan,
Hey,
where the hell you been?
I've been trying to call. They've had us on lockdown so often. Every time I've asked, we've been on the Coast 5 lockdown.
Okay.
Which means I've been unable to call. I've been trying to call all weekend, too.
So you've been on lockdown all this time?
Off and on, yes. On the days that I've asked, we've happened to be on lockdown, which means either an incident has happened or they're just so understaffed that they have to lock everyone down. It's probably more to do with understaffing.
Okay. How you been?
Well, you know, had the world's shittiest birthday present, so...
Yeah. And then you didn't call, so I'm assuming because of changes that they prevented you from calling?
No, they were actually moving me around a lot, shuffling back and forth, so I was having to get my phone privileges jockeyed back and forth, which takes a little while. And then, like I said, the days that I was asking, we happened to be on lockdown on those days. So it's just been inconvenient.
Okay.
Very inconvenient timing, and then we were on lockdown all weekend. I wanted to call him on his birthday. I tried to call yesterday. I tried to call Saturday, and there's no go anytime. So, but I've been wanting to call. How have you been?
I'm trying to put this on speaker.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put this on speaker. Okay.
How have you been? Can you hear me?
Good. Can you hear us?
Yes. Is Mom there with you?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
What's up?
Stephan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Is Mom with you?
Hang on a second.
Okay.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Stephan, you can hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, I got some speaker.
Okay. Is Mom there?
Yes, mom's with me now.
Okay. Happy birthday, belated birthday, Mom, and happy belated Mother's Day.
Hi, sweetheart. I was so hoping to hear from you. I'm so glad I'm hearing from you now.
Yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't able to call you all weekend. They had us on lockdown, so no one was able to do anything.
Were you expecting these charges?
No.
The murder charge.
Oh, well, we know you're not.
Okay, so you got blindsided by that.
Yeah. Obviously, it's not true. I never would have wanted her gone for any reason, so, premeditated first degree is kind of a dick punch.
Yeah.
No, I was wondering if you had any updates or anything.
Nope, we haven't heard a thing. Just, speculation that she's been put in an institution and hiding in an institution.
At her lawyer's request.
Yeah.
I mean, are you cooperating with police about her participation in any of this stuff?
There's been no opportunity for me to cooperate with anything. As I understand, the police keep saying that I'm uncooperative, but they haven't asked me anything to cooperate with, so whatever that means.
So your attorney isn't approaching them and saying, my client would like to speak with you?
No, my attorneys are pretty much saying to keep my mouth shut until the trial starts.
Well, okay.
Okay. I don't know why they were going to wait till the trial, but that's their business, not mine.
They don't want anything to hurt my chances.
Yep, understand. Okay.
Hey, what was Joey's last name?
Beltry?
Yeah, Veltri.
Joey Beltry? Beltry?
Veltri.
Beltry or Beltry?
Veltri with a V. Like victory.
V.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, it's basically, obviously this confirms that they're artificially inflating everything up as high as they can possibly do it.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. So I don't know
Little sticks.
what the plan is there. If they're just trying to scare me into pleading down, or I don't know.
No, they're not.
Okay.
They're just trying to hurt me as much as possible.
Are you able to share the Saturday night before you left for Kissimmee? You were pretty upset about something. Did it have to do anything with Kissimmee and the events that took place the next couple of days?
No.
Okay.
No, I was just stressed out about money and job and everything like that.
Some woman got on a YouTube thing and said that you weren't even at the party.
Party?
Yeah, her birthday party.
Yeah, I hadn't gotten there yet. I went up there Sunday evening and got there after she was done at her party.
Oh, okay.
And we were very happy that I was there. We were very happy that the three of us were together. It was shaping up to be a great week and a great visit. There's no reason for anything to happen that happened.
Is there some explanation of I came up Wednesday morning, met you at the hotel early in the morning, and is there some explanation why you left and went where you went?
I was driving around.
Okay. Understood you were driving around, but they know where you were driving around.
Yeah.
And we know.
Okay. I had wanted to grab a few things and get my ducks in a row, kind of prepare myself for whatever was coming, but I couldn't find what I was looking for.
Okay.
And then I ended up just kind of driving around aimlessly.
Okay. I mean, you asked me to come up and we hardly spent 35 minutes the entire time I was there throughout the entire day. And it's like, I wasn't sure why I was there. And then I was caught off guard by what happened later that afternoon, and obviously haven't seen you since.
Yeah, well, I just felt like I needed an ally there.
Well, I wish you had come to me and talked to me about some stuff, and maybe we could have helped you out in some way, giving you some advice. But certainly, under the extenuating circumstances, what was later discovered obviously couldn't help you any further than what had already taken place. So, the most logical thing would be to have, face up to it and have a conversation with the appropriate authorities or get an attorney or something. But be that as it may.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yep.
Well, we got a copy of your birth certificate for Sheila Marino and for your case. We're trying to get hospital records from the TBI, but Sarasota Memorial says you were never a patient there, so that's ridiculous if you know you were.
Yeah. And, were you able to find my social security card?
Yes.
Good. I presume it was probably in that mouse toy box with everything?
I don't know.
No, it wasn't.
It's in my...
No, I don't recall where it was, but it wasn't there. But
I don't remember if you had confirmed or not. Were you able to find my watch?
No, we weren't.
Yeah.
So
there was no popcorn box.
Little silver mouse
we already
toy.
had your social security card. So why did you think we need to? I already knew your number. I don't. Why did you think we need to find the card?
Just in case I was going to need it in the future.
Okay. Well, we have that.
I don't know how long I'm going to be here, or if or when I'll ever be released, or if you guys are going to be around at that point. But birth certificate, social security card might be things I'll need in that case.
Well, the penalty for the crimes you have been charged with carry a minimum 40-year sentence. So obviously we're going to be gone. Rick will be gone. We'll all be gone. We're sad about that, obviously, because there won't be anybody here for you when you come out.
Yeah, I'll be lucky if I have another 40 years left in me either, so.
Yeah.
That, I guess, everything sticks.
I wish there was a way that, you and I can have a conversation, all of us could have a conversation to understand what's taken place, how this came about, how you arrived here, because it would help us better understand the situation, because we're at a loss for understanding how all this came about. We're just totally baffled.
Well, I didn't start it.
Oh, you didn't start it, but you participated in it, which is just as bad as not starting it, but that's for another day. Again, I don't know if
details or anything. If you'd like to schedule a visit with me or something, maybe we can find some way to talk.
I don't know. I think we're always going to be recorded, so there won't be an opportunity to do that. Now, we have to make arrangements for you to sign off on the power of attorney so we can do something with this car.
Yeah.
And I would have to bring a document over. They won't even let me see you. I would just hand it to the classification officer. He would bring it in, you sign it, they would notarize it, give it back to me, and I would leave.
Okay. I think I just got the 1 minute warning.
Okay.
So yeah.
I hate that.
Give them whatever you need, and I'll sign whatever I need to sign. In the meantime, I'll try to call back in the next couple of days and we'll talk some more. If you wouldn't mind putting a little more money in my commissary as well.
All right, I can't do much stuff because we are really, when I say dead ass broke, I mean dead ass broke, but I'll do what I can.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I'd like to change, but right now, for the next 30 days, we are definitely in lockdown.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, all right.
Maybe
I'll try to get over there within the week to get that POA taken care of.
Okay. There's a 15-minute cooldown before I can call back. I'll see if I can call back again. If not, I'll try to call back in the next couple of days.
Okay, thank you. All right.
All right. I love you. Bye.
Bye.
That was the call. What stood out to you? Tell me in the comments on YouTube if you're watching us there, or wherever you're listening to this on the podcast platform. We'd love to hear from you on our YouTube channel, Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi. What stood out to me wasn't just Stephan's disconnection from the gravity of what he's facing. So that is very chilling on its own, but it's the emotional state of his parents. You can hear the pain in their voices, especially his father. There's a pleading there, a desperation to understand what happened, but also to hold on to some sense of control by focusing on documents, storage boxes, hospital records, normal things. It's a coping mechanism, clinging to the practical when the emotional is just too devastating. And who could blame them? They're parents. And parents don't stop being parents even when their child is accused of something monstrous in many cases. But denial does have a cost. And as these calls go on, we're going to play 11 phone calls for you here on the podcast channel and on YouTube. We'll hear just how that denial either breaks or calcifies into something much harder. I'm Tony Bruschi. Press subscribe so you don't miss any of the calls and our coverage of this case. And please let me know what you think of these calls yourself in the comments below.
Want more on this case and others? Then press subscribe now and don't miss a moment of true crime coverage from Tony Bruschi and the Hidden Killers podcast. This is Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi. Here now, Tony Bruschi.
Welcome back. We are breaking down jailhouse calls between Stephan Sterns and his parents. Stephan charged in the murder of Maddie Soto and child exploitation. In this next call, we get a deeper sense of the dissonance between Stephan Sterns' emotional state and the reality of the situation that he's in. He opens by discussing the autopsy report, a report tied to the death of a child that he's accused of killing, a child that he sexually abused time after time. That's how the allegations go. They have the pictures. It's a bit more than an allegation at this point. With a tone that's clinical, almost casual, a tone that is chilling. Meanwhile, his parents continue to perform what they may believe and many trauma psychologists call functional denial. They're focusing on logistics, mailing documents, finding his watch, discussing popcorn buckets and purple dragons. It's not a meaningless distraction. It's a lifeline. It's something they can control in a world that suddenly feels completely out of control. Listen to how their voices shift when talk turns to interviews, power of attorney, and Stephan's previous injuries as a desperate attempt to stay grounded. And beneath it, the unspoken horror of what they're really dealing with.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, is this a good time?
Yes. The phone was in the dining room. I was in the office. Didn't realize it was ringing. And the second time it rang, I didn't even hear it ringing.
Oh, okay. How's everything going?
Well, good. Everything's fine with us. How about you?
Well, hanging in there so far. Any news or updates on your end?
No.
No? Okay.
How about yours?
Well, I got a chance to look at the autopsy reports.
And?
You can't say.
Oh.
I can't go into too much detail, but raises a lot of questions.
Okay. Well, you don't need to say any more.
Yep.
Did you get the books?
No, not yet. Did you get notification of delivery?
Yes.
Okay, well, I haven't received them yet.
So they arrived in one location. They had to be transported over from that location, which is outside of St. Pete, and then over to Kissimmee.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean,
it goes to Seminole, it goes to Seminole, and then from there it's sent over to you. So, as I said, Seminole is over by St. Pete.
Yeah, and who knows how often, they pick it up, so.
Yeah.
And then they have to sort it and check it out and then deliver it to people. So I guess we'll give it another week or so.
If you get a chance, Stephan, I found a chess set. that is a mat, just a roll-up mat, but the pieces are made out of silicone.
I still don't think that'd be allowed.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I said.
Well, you can't melt the silicone or anything, but okay.
No.
Maybe you could swallow it and choke on it or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, or jamming in somebody's eye, you know. You gotta think about these things. So last time we talked, you had not found my watch, correct?
Right.
When you went into that box, however, did you see a big plastic purple dragon?
No.
Nope. Big plastic purple dragon?
No.
You were probably in the wrong box then. Said it was in one of the large boxes at the foot of my bed.
No, didn't see any big plastic purple dragon.
Okay, well, in one of those boxes you will find a big plastic purple dragon, and that is one of the popcorn buckets. And that's not the one I'm talking about. That's just to show you that the popcorn buckets look like other things. But in that same box, you'll see a silvery gray-looking sort of box with wheels on the bottom and a brown shoulder strap attached to it. That's the mouse droid. In that should be my watch.
The mouse what?
The mouse what?
Droid. M-O-U-S-E. Droid.
Okay.
What is a mouse droid?
It's looks like a little, almost like a remote control car from Star Wars. You can Google it and see what it looks like, and then find a thing that looks like that with a brown strap attached to it. In that should be my watch, though.
I think we've been through about everything.
All right, purple dragon. All right, we'll make a note of that.
The purple dragon is in the mouse droid, but the mouse droid is in the same box as the purple dragon.
Okay.
You got that?
Well, maybe I'll find the Rolex too, because we still haven't found that.
I never had the Rolex.
Okay.
Really
Where is that blue and white little ceramic box that you had that you put stuff in?
That would have been in storage somewhere.
Okay, I thought you had it.
No. Nope, that would be somewhere in storage. So if you guys cleaned out the storage unit, then you may have come across it already.
Well, listen, we've got a lot of boxes we're still going through, so.
Okay.
And
That's fine.
Well, the boxes are we just stuck in the garage.
Yeah.
So there's no place to put it.
Well, it'll be in one of those boxes.
okay,
Anyway.
we'll be looking for it, that's for sure.
Yep, and look for that wristwatch inside the mouse droid.
Okay.
It's in the same box as the purple dragon. Okay?
Okay. Definitely a look.
Yeah, you'll see a whole bunch of other like Disney collectibles.
We're having trouble getting any cooperation with the classification people there to get you to sign the POA so we can get the car sold and start a little slush fund here for you for there.
Really?
But,
Why
yeah.
Well, they say because of where you're incarcerated that that can't be facilitated with bringing a document back and having it signed. So we told your attorneys about it, and we told them that we would overnight the POA. They could take it in, have you sign it, and I would include a self-addressed returned overnight envelope so they could just drop it off and send it to us. So maybe you can have that conversation with them.
Yeah, because bringing me documents to sign has not been a problem before. When the media asked for my consent for interviews, I had officers literally bring me a form and ask me if I wanted to sign it for consent or not. So I don't think that's really the issue.
So the media's reached out and tried to schedule interviews with you, and you
2 or 3 times.
accepted or declined? Yeah.
did you talk to them?
No, I've declined every time.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it wouldn't do me any good right now.
Yeah. Well, anyways, you can have that conversation with your attorneys. That would be great.
Yeah, that should be able to be arranged.
We got a new copy of your birth certificate for them.
Okay.
Which I was going to bring over for them so I can overnight that as well. So again, have that conversation that I could overnight the package along with the POA. They could take the POA into you, have you sign it, and then we could, and then I would include a return envelope as well, and they can send it back to us.
Yeah. As far as a birth certificate, I guess what you would just have that included with whatever my belongings they took into storage when I was booked.
Say that again?
No, I don't know, this is for something that they're doing. They wanted to get your records from Sarasota Memorial and from Irvine, California for the kidney surgery, and both of those have their own forms that you have to sign them because you're an adult. You're no longer a minor. I can't sign for them. But, so that's going as well.
You have those documents?
Yes, they're in the.
Oh, okay.
What county was I born in? It was Kane County, right?
Yeah. So we have your birth certificate.
What was the name of the hospital?
I don't know. Is it on the birth certificate?
Yeah.
Does it matter?
I was just wondering if I ever need to find it for any reason.
Well, Kane County would have it.
Yeah. Okay.
The hospital doesn't have it. Kane County will.
Okay. So I just contact the court for Kane County, I guess?
Yeah. So it was like $45 to get this copy of this birth certificate. It doesn't say which hospital.
Okay. But Kane County.
But it has, I'm sorry, Copley Memorial Hospital.
Copley?
Yeah.
Was it C or K?
C.
C, okay. Copley Memorial in Kane County. Okay. Just if I ever need to get that and I don't have anyone to rely on, it would help.
We're trying to get a hold of your attorneys that handled the things when you and Joey got run over. But it's changed so much, and the partners are split up, and I think one of them is in California that would be the one I wanted to talk to, but I called and left him a message, and he hasn't returned the call.
Okay.
So we're trying to do anything that they asked us to do on our end, we're doing. And so I don't know. We get pushback sometimes when we ask for information, but
don't worry.
One of them informed me that she was a criminal attorney, not a civil attorney, and getting a POA done was not part of her business.
That was probably Alicia.
Could have been.
Yeah, she's a no-nonsense type.
Well, if she has your best interest in mind, it'd be his best interest to get it done so that we can keep you funded.
Yeah, well, one thing at a time, I guess. If you guys can find my watch, that will be another step in the right direction. It's in there.
There's okay. I just hope that it's somehow that you can really identify it because
Identify what?
Where is that? What's the box of
Okay, report. Leave it on that. We'll just keep looking.
Up the dragon. Top of the mountain.
Okay.
Wristwatch and inside. Okay. What else is new with you guys?
Just going to church, doing open houses. We're studying the book of Romans. I would love for you to read that.
And Lacey's going to have puppies.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to miss that. I'd love to see all those little happy little wagging tails and bright eyes and smell all that puppy breath.
Oh, yes.
Do you know when your court date's going to be yet?
No clue. Might not be for another couple months. It depends if they even need my testimony at all. Which, you would hope they would, but, at some point I assume I am going to see the inside of a courtroom. Be a pretty strange trial without it.
Yeah. Well, there's been no news at all. So everything's just kind of status quo from where it was last time. Where have you been for the last week?
Couldn't make a call for a little while. Some of the people that work the night shift, as I said, are not as nice to me. So I've been waiting for people who are. And then, well, I got sick as well, so I've been sick for a few days.
Cold?
Presumably, yes. I've had a pretty bad fever and a sore throat and some serious pressure on my left inner ear. Yeah, like I said, this place is filthy and unsanitary, and obviously they don't clean these cells before they bring a new person into it.
Did they move you again?
Yeah, they moved me again as well. So I moved out of the room with the ants, and now I'm back into the room with the ants again, too.
Oh, well, familiar friends.
Yeah, they just love moving me, especially around 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm comfortable and trying to fall asleep. I think they do it just to mess with me, honestly.
Well, if that's all they do, then be happy.
Yeah, well, it's hard to be happy, though.
It could be a lot worse.
Yeah, it could. You know, people have survived a lot worse than this, but...
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, I guess.
But when it happens...
It's air conditioning in there, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So I've got that at least for now. Although one little room they put me in before was tiny and did not have air conditioning, or at least the air was not circulating in there, so it was hot, it was stifling, and it smelled like a little dog kennel. I'm glad they moved me out of that.
Did you got enough bedding to keep warm at night?
Well, I have one mat and one little thin, scratchy wool blanket.
No sheets on the mat, I assume?
No pillow, no sheets, nothing.
Okay. Well, it's not the Ritz or the Holiday Inn.
1 minute
Nope.
remaining.
Oh, there's the 1 minute warning. God, these 15 minutes go by so fast, just like my break at work. So I'll try to call you back in another 15 minutes, but you know the drill. If you don't hear back from me again, day or two.
Okay.
Okay, we love you, honey.
Love you, Mama Bear, but I will try to call you back in 15 minutes if possible.
We'll be hovering over the phone.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
That was that call. What you just heard there was a call drenched in avoidance, but also love. Stephan's parents are trying hard to keep him humanized, to keep him tethered to who he used to be, but at the same time, there's a creeping recognition that something is not right. They mention people on YouTube digging into Stephan's online history. His father brings up former roommates allegedly fabricating stories, and Stephan, he's preoccupied with finding a specific watch and making sure he has coffee and saltines at his commissary. The human brain has a remarkable ability to compartmentalize when it is overwhelmed. This call is a masterclass in just that, in surviving, in a survival skill, and also a stark preview of just how deep that compartmentalization might go in the calls that we will hear right here on the channel. Be sure to press subscribe so you don't miss any of this. If you're watching us on YouTube, drop us a comment in the comment sections. What is your opinion of this specific call and what's going on in it? I'm Tony Bruschi. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and stay with us.
Want more on this case and others? Then press subscribe now and don't miss a moment of true crime coverage from Tony Bruschi and the Hidden Killers podcast. This is Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi. Here now, Tony Bruschi.
Welcome back. I'm Tony Bruschi. We are continuing to dig into the jailhouse calls between Stephan Sterns and his parents. Stephan Sterns charged with the murder of Madeline Soto and also child exploitation. In this third call, it's peeling back another layer. It's shorter, but in some ways it's heavier. The conversation shifts towards physical discomfort, his eyesight, back pain, the conditions in jail, and while it may seem like small talk, it's not. It's displacement. His parents are trying to maintain normalcy through concern. Did you get your glasses? Do you have enough snacks? It's love expressed through survival logistics. But Stephan's comments about hoping something will break in his favor at trial, while never acknowledging the full gravity of what's happened, are more than troubling. The psychological contrast is growing between two parents suffering with grief and a son who seems in many ways emotionally frozen. While we listen, be sure to press subscribe so you don't miss any of our coverage here on this case and the ones we also follow. And let me know what you think as you listen to this in the comments.
Hey there.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey, the guard just let me know that she's going to need the phone back in about 5 minutes. I think someone else wants to make a call.
Okay.
So this will have to be brief. Probably the last one of the night, but I'll push it till she needs it back.
all right. Well, better than nothing.
Yep. So anyway,
Waiting for you to call back was long.
what's that?
Just waiting for you to call back seemed like forever.
Totally.
Then it just goes by quickly when you call.
Yep, same for me. Time creeps by when I'm waiting to call back, and then just slides by real quickly when we're talking there. Just like I said, just like my breaks at work, 15 minutes is never quite as long as you think it is.
Yeah.
But,
Hey, how's your eyes? Do you need reading glasses?
if I did, I don't know what kind I would need. For now, they serve their purpose. But even my attorneys noticed at some point that I did seem like I had to kind of squint to look at what I was reading.
Okay.
I think it just depends on how tired I am, how strained my eyes are, all that. But yeah.
What do they have provisions there to provide reading glasses, or what?
Yeah,
or can you have reading glasses?
You can get reading glasses off the commissary, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why don't you check into that and see which ones work for you? And I guess that's the only place you can get them, right?
Yeah, probably. But that would be a matter of trial and error because they have like 3 or 4 different magnifications, I think, and I have no idea which I would need.
Well, try 150, 1.50, and then go to 175, and we'll see which works.
Yeah, I guess I could.
I mean, can you try them on?
I think you have to buy them. I don't think you get to try them. There's no way to make the order and pay for it and then send it back,
Well, what if they don't work? Can you send them back?
You just said you can't.
I don't know how that works. I could ask somebody, but I'm not sure.
Okay, we'll find out. How much are they?
Like $3 or something like that.
$3?
Something like that. I'm not sure.
What are they, like paper 3D glasses?
They're plastic.
Well, yeah, I'm just being facetious.
Yeah, I think it could be more. They might be $4 or $5 or $6, something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Yeah, could be even $12. I don't remember. I mean, I saw them, but I don't remember how much the price was.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
How you doing with your stuff that you got from the commissary? You have enough to
Well, he's sassy.
Yeah, I've got enough coffee, hard candies, and saltine crackers to last me through the end of the month here.
That's a couple more days.
Yeah, the other snacks kind of went faster than I expected them to, so I think from now on I'm just going to stick to coffee, hard candies, and saltine crackers.
Yeah, well, once you get your books, you'll have something to occupy your time.
Yeah. But hard candies, saltines, and coffee, those seem to give me the best bang for it.
Okay. All right.
Chips and things like that, the pickles and all that, it just doesn't last the way you want it to.
Yeah. Okay.
It's hard to have just one per day,
Yeah.
Especially with the meals like they are, and you never feel full after a meal, so you always feel like in your stomach, especially after dinner, because that's around 6 or 7, and then there's nothing else until like 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
So, and you know me, I'm
well, you've had a lifetime of snacking all night long.
Yeah, well, plus my metabolism doesn't help.
Yeah. So.
See, what's really killing me though is my back and my hips.
The bed.
Yeah, the quote unquote bed. You know, your bones can break through and rest on the floor underneath. So, you know, it hurts your hips and then your knees are resting against each other and it's tough.
Yeah.
And then the lights are on. In these pods of Suicide Watch and Medical, the lights are always on overhead, and so they're real bright. So you try to find a way to block it out. Any way you lay is just terrible.
Yeah.
And you get all the debris from the floor that ends up on your mat and your blanket, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Just really keep hoping that something's going to break in my favor with this trial.
Well, okay.
Yeah. I have to have hope about something, you know. I have to maintain some sort of hope, otherwise I've got nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've always given my guardian angel one.
Well, you've been there. You've been there for what, 3 months now?
Yeah, at the end of this month it'll be 3 months.
March, April, yep, 3 months. So.
Well, like I said, the whole process could take 2 or 3 years before it's concluded. So, and I've already been told that if the prosecution is smart, that they'll drag it out as long as they can.
Yeah.
So, who knows what's going to happen? But, just keep hoping we can find something.
Well, you know, as soon as you get some reading material and we know that arrives safely, then we can arrange for other stuff.
Yep. That will be good, having my own little mini library with stuff that I like to read instead of just what, you know.
So when they move you from cell to cell, how do you move your stuff around?
I toss it all in my blanket, close my blanket up, fold my blanket up into my mat, and then close it.
Oh, they move you, blanket and mat.
Yep. Typically they'll move me with the mat, but if they don't, I'll take my blanket and everything and just hope that they clean the mat in the new cell well enough, which last time they did not.
Yeah. Right.
I found a whole wad of spit underneath at one time. At least I hope.
So you get to well, you should, you know, maybe complain to management.
No.
Yeah, well, I'll be sure to include it in my Yelp review.
Yeah. Yeah.
1 star, accommodations suck. Food terrible.
Yeah. Well, the idea is not to be there, but but it's too late for that.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, Stephan, I could never have imagined that we would all be in this situation. I just couldn't. There's no way I could have ever even visualized it. It's just awful.
Yeah, me either, to be honest.
Well, I mean, things kind of went sideways, whatever happened with, so you knew that was going to go down a rat hole.
Yeah, well, I never in a million years that she would not be around anymore, so.
Yeah. So, once that went sideways, whatever happened, you know, that was all she wrote.
Yeah, well, you know, I can handle a lot of things.
Not in.
What's that?
I said, still has not been heard from except for an interview she did with the newspaper where she told everybody that she did sleep with you guys and she said to sleep with you in the other room.
As I was going to say, I can handle a lot of things, and one thing I just can't reconcile or figure out in my mind or wrap my head around is the fact that, you know, he doesn't get to live anymore. There were a lot of things that I wanted to see for her, you know. She had another year or so before high school. You know, learning how to drive, figuring out what she wanted to do with her life. I was excited to see where she was going, you know. really impressed with the person that she was finally growing into.
Well, got a whole lot to talk about. A lot to own up to.
Well, again, I know you can't talk about this, but it almost sounds like you didn't know something had happened to her.
Well, I discovered her, in the state that she was in after everything was said and done. So, obviously I can't get into detail, but no, I was not aware that she had, passed on. As you know, I'm up and down throughout the night, and, I was not in the room the whole time. And it's not like you just suddenly feel someone's ghost pass away from them. It's a discovery. And
so she wasn't even in the same room with you?
Well, she was in the room that I started in, but I'm up and down throughout the night, and I tend to wander around the house and fiddle around on my phone and step out front, feel the nice cool night air and all that. So I was gone from the room for. Obviously, I really can't get into too many details, but
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't discover what had happened until just around dawn.
Okay. Interesting.
Because I discovered that she was ice cold.
Well, all I can say, Stephan, is that my heart breaks for you because I know that's something that you never would have done and never would have wanted to have done to her. And
right.
neither would we.
Right.
I'm angry on your behalf that it happened, and I'm angry that you got dragged into it by them. So I'm just angry.
Was there anybody else at the townhome that was not a regular person?
No, which is why I keep saying that I'm not sure that there's any one person honestly to blame, but they're certainly trying to blame me. And according to the autopsy report, like I said, it raises a lot more questions, but they seem to be settling on trying to say it's homicide.
Okay.
It has something to do with bones in her throat, but take that to mean what you will.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
But I would never have done anything like that.
No.
Yeah.
No. You're the same person that cried when I asked you to dispatch a little bird that broke its neck or something and was flopping around.
Yeah, same person that cares about people, cries at movies.
Yes, I know.
And then there was Skippy.
Skippy, yeah. Rue.
Jay
Bird, yep, I remember them all. Burying them was very hard for me.
Yeah.
And,
all I know, Stephan, is when I look at a picture of you and I look into your eyes, I don't see a monster there. I don't see a bad person there. I see my son who I love. That never will change.
Well, thank you. And I know that I'm not a bad person or an evil person or a monster.
No. But you do need to dive into the Bible head first and stay in it because you need grace and you need God on your side as a warrior on your side.
I keep asking him to help me through this somehow. I know that
And you still don't have a Bible?
I have a Bible. I have a King James version.
Okay. Well, we're looking into getting your large print Bible. So, I want to make sure that this delivery gets to you, and then I can order one from the publisher and get it to you, large print, so you won't need glasses.
Well, hopefully it does. We have no idea how often they pick it up or how long it'll take to get here and get sorted and get delivered, if it does at all. But I haven't received any written notification of anything being returned yet, so.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll judge it from there, and so we'll just make sure that we're timing this right. So. The Bible will occupy the majority of your time.
Yeah, I keep praying to God for help, for some kind of miracle. I know I've probably run up my divine credit as far as miracles go with my guardian angel and God working in overtime to keep me alive as long as they have. But I keep hoping for one more big miracle, one big salvation, and
Have you got some way to keep a journal of notes that you would take from reading the Bible?
I can get a pad of paper off the commissary, and I can get more pens and stuff too. I think my commissary is about -$10 by this point, but I know I can get a pad of white ruled paper off of there.
Okay. So do I need to replenish the commissary yet, or wait?
If you want to, yes. But I'm not going to use it on snacks, just on essentials for now.
All right, how much do I need to put in?
$50.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I'm going to be dropped down to 40 like immediately.
Okay. All right.
We're about to get
Well,
cut
we're
off.
just about out of time.
Yep, I'll talk to you later. I love you both.
Love you. All right.
Sorry.
Hey, is this a good time?
Hold on. Yeah, I was on the phone with somebody else, and first time you called in and inadvertently hit the wrong button. Hang on, I'll put you on speaker. Hang on. Okay, I got you.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Hey.
Don't do it well.
He's always in the well.
Yeah.
He's in the big room.
Yep, very echoey. Oh.
Did you get any of the books we sent yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
But I don't have any notification of anything being sent back either. I had
Okay.
a
All right.
meeting with the mental health director a couple days ago. She said they're going to step me down, take me down a step in custody level. So I'm going to be taken off non-acute status, and as soon as a space opens up in one of the regular isolation cells, I'll be moved to one of those.
Okay, good.
Does that mean that we can get a document to you and we can get it signed now?
Possibly. She says they won't put any restrictions on me.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. And when's that supposed to happen?
What's that?
Well, when is that supposed to happen?
Whenever a space opens up in one of those cells.
Oh, okay. All right.
She's on space. This is a very crowded jail. There's over 2,000 inmates.
All right. And you'll still be in kind of isolated protection?
Yep, I'll still be in protective custody. I'll still be by myself. I just won't be under self-harm watch.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I won't be in any of the self-harm pods.
Okay.
So that's
All right. Well, I guess that's better accommodations. You'll have concierge services?
not likely, but I might actually have a rack to put my mat on, so I'm not going to be on the floor. Maybe I'll have a seat and a table. Who knows? I won't be surrounded by crazies all the time.
Okay.
Or relatively so.
All right.
That should be an improvement at least.
All right. Sounds good.
Yep. Any other news or updates on your end?
No. Everything's still status quo. Somebody sent us a link to a YouTube video that, these amateur sleuths, just are relentless. They just go down any and every, path they can go. And so this link to this YouTube video, had, tracked all your internet activity and all the sites that you had joined.
Dark web.
The dark web, whatever, but some of the offbeat websites. So I'm sure you know what I'm referring to without me having to name them.
Okay.
So I'm just telling you that all that should exist out there. And oh, by the way, I sped through this 2-hour YouTube video, and your former roommates at the townhome that you rented have ratted you out in ways and fabricated stories about a shared network drive and video that had been recorded and supposedly approached your mother about them, threatening to disclose you in these videos, and that we paid them off, which was total bullshit. We've never heard about this until these videos and these asshole friends of yours have managed to get themselves on these YouTube channels and disclose all sorts of shit. Because I can tell you this, if any one of them, and we know who we're talking about, had come to us with that, we would have told them, feel free to do whatever you want. We're not paying you jack shit. If somebody had done something, I suggest you pursue it with them or the authorities, but don't bring this up to our attention ever again. I can assure you that we would not have paid off anybody. It wouldn't have been our problem, and we wouldn't have paid for it, period.
So my former roommates are trying to blackmail you into paying them off?
No, they're claiming that they had supposedly come to us and blackmailed us and that we paid them money, which they've described it in two events, one at a restaurant and then your mother supposedly showing up at the townhome with a manila envelope. And you and I know, and we all know, that is bullshit.
Yeah.
Didn't happen, didn't exist, never did it.
It never happened.
And if they had done that, I would have said, go ahead and do whatever you want. You're not getting a penny from me. It's not my problem, so don't even come to me with it, period.
Are they aware that blackmail and coercion is also illegal?
Well, it's kind of a moot point when you're looking at the number of years ago this was. And right now, it's their word, it's hearsay, but I'm just telling you what these amateur sleuths are repeating. Matter of fact, they even said that we owned the townhome, which we didn't.
And we've been living in $1 million homes, and you were a spoiled, rotten kid because of it. And I'm thinking, we've never been in $1 million home.
But anyway, I'm just telling you the bullshit that goes on out there, which is why I don't pay attention to these YouTube videos. But I'm just telling you, your former roommates have, done a nice job of sabotaging or discrediting your character and what have you. So everybody's jumping on the bandwagon, throwing you under the bus and what have you. But I'm just relating this story of that's been repeated a few times about some video being recorded in the townhome, and that they came to us requesting, and we pleaded with them not to disclose it, and we paid them off, which is just absolute bullshit.
You should be very careful about that because they're seriously opening themselves up to a lawsuit for defamation.
Well, it's not, it takes money to sue somebody, and you have to prove it, and so no one's going to take a case like that pro bono, and it's not worth chasing. And you have to prove damages, and we haven't suffered any damages. But I'm just telling you the bullshit that's floating out there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But anyway, they've is under search, and they've discovered some of these websites that you've subscribed to, participated in, or what have you. So I'm just giving you a heads up that they are leaving no stone unturned as they go down a rat hole chasing this shit.
Crazy. Yeah.
Don't even try to figure out why they did it, because we can't figure out why they did it, except
Who did it?
the roommates.
Okay. All right, we moved on past that.
Yeah, but the thing is that these YouTube sites give people a chance to talk with complete immunity, because they never check them, they never fact check them, they don't care about the facts, they just care about getting people to click on and pay them money for the YouTube site. So.
And supposedly these hosts of these YouTube channels pay these people to provide this information as well. So whatever that's worth.
And some roommate.
Oh yeah, the roommate is. Oh, that's really funny. So reading this interview of the former roommate said that both you and were grossly overweight, and you both had gastric bypass. I mean, I'm just telling you, this shit is just what I don't. They didn't disclose her name, okay? But you know, to say that you had gastric bypass, which you've never had, and that you were grossly overweight, which you never were, again, is the bullshit that's just floating out there on these YouTube channels.
Well, I mean, I had gastric bypass, but
Yep.
it's not a big deal these days.
Understand. But they're saying that you had it, you know?
They're saying that she refused to take her bipolar meds, which she was very forgetful, you know, and didn't do a lot. But they were saying that it was not ADHD, but they thought she was autistic. And like going, no, she wasn't. She wasn't autistic.
It was a question mark. You know, you had one doctor saying that she was possibly on the spectrum, another saying, no, it doesn't seem like it, she's just ADHD. And other doctors didn't know. So it was a question mark.
Yeah. But anyway, it's a three-ring circus out there with these YouTube channels, which is why I don't watch them. Your mother doesn't watch them, but every now and then somebody sends us a link to something, and like I said, I sped viewed it, and you know, came away with a little bit of information and a lot of bad information, misinformation, inaccurate information, but it is what it is, and so I'm not going to bother with it. You know, you have to consider the source and the validity of it, and everybody's highly speculative about whatever they come across, and then they try to make something monumental out of it that this thing exists, you know.
I don't know how they can even find jurors that haven't listened to some of this crap.
Yeah.
They can't.
It's tainted. It's tainted. The whole thing is tainted now.
Yeah, they might have to shop it out to a different venue, but even at that point, I think it's going to be hard to find anyone who hasn't heard about all this.
Yeah.
Well, that's true, and the minute they do hear about it, they're going to go in, and even though they're not supposed to, they're going to go in and check the internet, and they're going to see these things, they're going to believe this stuff, because they don't know the difference between truth and non-truth.
Fact and fiction.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, you know, if I go in and say, you know, you people are idiots. You know this never happened, and I can't do that because it won't do you good.
You don't want to engage with it.
So, don't want to give them. They're not worthy of the merit of any comments, and they can just enjoy themselves. And then when the truth comes out, then you know they'll have to do a lot of backtracking. Yeah, right. Okay, sure. But anyway.
I will tell you this, Stephan. You know that we're saved people. You know that we're Christians, and you know that these people came to us many times for help in their living situations, and you know that we helped all of them. I don't understand why these kids think it's so wonderful to jump on this bandwagon and crucify us when we were there for them when they needed us. I don't understand that.
It's because we have fallings out for various reasons, and they can't resist the temptation to kick me while I'm down because they think they can do it with impunity.
Absolutely.
They didn't have the balls to do it while they were free.
What's that?
So they didn't have the balls to do it while it was free.
Yeah.
Well, they were jealous. You know who was always the one with the little, very, very something on his back. The mouse. He was always so jealous of you. He was so jealous of you. And
he sabotaged me at every turn. I mean, if you remember when I was working Quiznos, I was in line for management, so he started working there. Then suddenly everyone's attitude towards me changed, and he became the manager.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he does.
And you know, there were people in our friends group who, for some reason, were under the impression that I was a complete moron.
Well, they should check your IQ score.
Well, I know he was backstabbing and trying to put himself above me at every opportunity.
Yeah.
Found out a while back that he was even stealing my possessions and selling them.
Like what?
Airsoft guns. I mean, my street board went missing. A lot of my Pokemon cards went missing. And there's the one missing.
Are you talking about when you got the roommates, he was stealing your stuff and selling it?
Yep.
Oh, well, no surprise.
Nope.
I believe that.
He needed to support his lifestyle somehow, and did the same thing with his parents' crap too. So.
Yeah.
What else?
I know he peddled his dad's pills.
Yeah, he was a first class citizen. We all know that, which is why he got kicked out of his house.
Yep. And anyway, I'm going to call you back in 15 minutes if I can, because we got the 1 minute thing.
All right, later.
All right, bye.
Hey, sweetie.
What'd you think of that one? Be sure to tell me in the comments on YouTube or wherever you are listening to this. That call ended with a statement that's going to haunt, I think, a lot of us. I was really impressed with the person she was finally growing into. Stephan is talking about Maddie, the same child he's accused of murdering, the same child he had been sexually abusing, conditioning, controlling, and destroying for quite some time. But he's impressed with the person she was finally growing into. What a statement to make to your mom and dad. What we're hearing is a kind of psychological disassociation, not uncommon in those who've committed horrific acts. He separates himself from the act, clings to selective memories, and positions himself as someone who merely stumbled into tragedy. But don't they all? Beneath all of this is a desperate need for his parents to still believe in him. Whether they should is another story. What do you think? Tell us in the comments here on YouTube, and press subscribe wherever you download podcasts so you don't miss our coverage of this story and all that we cover for you here on the True Crime Today channel and the Hidden Killers podcast. I'm Tony Bruschi. Stay with us.
Want more on this case and others? Then press subscribe now and don't miss a moment of true crime coverage from Tony Bruschi and the Hidden Killers podcast. This is Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi. Here now, Tony Bruschi.
Welcome back as we continue to dig into the jailhouse calls of Stephan Sterns and his parents. Stephan, of course, charged with the murder of Maddie Soto and also child exploitation for many, many, many years of sexual abuse of the girl that he was entrusted to look after from his girlfriend, Jen Soto. She's a whole other ball of wrong. In this next call, it opens with rage, not from Stephan, but from his parents. They're starting to react to online chatter, allegations, rumors, and what they perceive as betrayals from people they once trusted. The idea that former friends are coming forward with disturbing claims sends his father into defensive mode. But Stephan, he's focused more on reputation management than truth. As all narcissists are, it's all about controlling the narrative, and he's trying his damnedest with the last two people on Earth that may give a crap about him. His calmness here is striking, almost calculated. Listen closely to how his parents try to protect him from the narrative that's building online. Ask yourself whether that protection is also about protecting themselves from a much darker truth. While you're listening, let me know what you think in the comments. Be sure to press subscribe. Let's take a listen.
Hey, I'm back.
Yay.
So, spent the last 15 minutes thinking about these yahoos.
They aren't worth the time.
Can't believe that. Just all
That's true.
for all of them that they would try to do this crap.
You know, these are the same ones that came to you for help and were always saying what a good friend you were, and you would keep all their secrets for them and stuff. But yet they don't They don't have any secrets of yours, but they'll make them up just so that they can make themselves sound big on YouTube. You know.
Yep.
It's a sad situation when people are that desperate for attention.
Yep.
Especially when Sir Lancelot was the one going to community college to learn how to be a computer programmer, and he's the only one who could have set up a network if there ever was one. So forget that. That's bullshit. You know, you did it. If it's Levi, you did it.
Paying for information and decided he would make some stuff up and get paid on my account.
Yep.
Whoever paid him ought to get a refund because he fleeced them.
They don't care. Do you know how much money they made off of it? To have all this purulent information on you, to have people click on. These people are vultures. They're worse than that.
Oh yeah.
Then because they don't wait till you're dead to feed on you.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway, how are you doing?
Well, you know, I'm hanging in there. Keeping up as best as I can. Did a little bit of exercise today.
Good.
Push-ups, crunches, squats, leg lifts, whatever.
Whatever you can do.
Well, see if you can ask somebody about the book order and see, you know, I don't know how long it takes to have these items delivered, but I don't know. We haven't gotten any indication that they've been returned, so they're in the system, so I don't know how long it takes for you to get them.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any indication that they've been returned either, so still waiting to hear on that. But, been praying a lot.
Good. He hears you. God hears your prayer.
We've been praying for deliverance as well, but I don't know.
Well, Proverbs shows you how to live. Romans shows you how God forgives. So those are the two I would look at.
I've been praying to Him to deliver me from all this and give me a chance to get my life back on track. But there might be some kind of slim chance, but I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to jinx anything or get anybody's hopes up. But I'm going to try. Worth a try anyway.
No. They need to get her out of the hospital where she can be interviewed by the police. They need to bring all her family in, all those bitches. They were sitting there at the grandmother's house calling 911 and being ugly to the 911 operators. They already knew what had happened. They all knew. And none of them were acting scared. None of them were acting concerned. They were talking like we're talking now. Like there wasn't really anything big going on.
Well, I wouldn't get so carried away with any conspiracy theories.
You don't have to be a conspiracy theory to see the writing on the wall.
Well, at any rate, that's probably not going to help me anyways.
Well, don't give up anything. Don't give up on anything.
Well, I'm not. I'm holding on to hope until there's nothing left to hold on to.
Well, when you get to the end of the rope, you tie a knot in it and still hang on.
You know, when I first got here, I was praying to God for strength and serenity, and, you know, He's given me that. Especially lately, I've noticed I've just been overcome by an overwhelming sense of calm and serenity.
Oh, good.
He's working on you. I pray for every day. I pray for Him to put fences of protection around you and to hear you calling Him.
Well, I have been, and thank Him for granting me that serenity. You know, I've just been thinking about, you know, how He works, you know, how He uses hardship as a vehicle to move you.
Yeah.
You know, human
I was in the kitchen making sandwiches, and I started laughing in the kitchen because we were talking about all these people saying stuff, about networks being set up and videos and blackmail and an envelope full of cash. And I'm thinking, damn, they've been watching some movies, haven't they?
I know. I was thinking that too. It sounds like a bad spy movie.
I know.
If you went to the house to pay them off, why would you have bothered putting the cash in a manila envelope if you were going to be inside the house?
Who knows? But
So
then the other one is
to
that I went to a restaurant and slid it across the table to them.
I know. Like, what is that? Why not both payments at the house? Wouldn't that have made more sense?
Well, none of it makes sense, and I keep telling Chris, I said, why can't I stop her to go take a lie detector test and put all this to bed? But
And if you're going to bring a large wad of cash, why would you take it out of the bank envelope to put it into a big manila envelope just to take it inside to a house and hand it to somebody?
Why would I give it to those wads of bubble gum anyway? They have the mental capacity, but
he was a terrible liar anyway. He lied about big things. He lied about little things. He lied to women all the time. He lied just to, I don't know, make himself seem cooler or maybe gain more acceptance. But he just lied. He was one of those people that lied for no reason. It's like, buddy, you don't have to lie. Like, we already lied to you. You're already our friend. There's no need to lie or build yourself up,
Because they're a habitual liar, and it's hard when you're a liar to keep the truth straight because you change it every time you tell somebody something.
I don't know. I just used to laugh it off and dismiss it.
No. It's weird. Just some weird. They're so weird. I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever. He was probably counting his money, walking away laughing, saying, "Thank you, Stephan."
Yeah, probably. These people they don't have a moral compass. They have no conscience. They have nothing redeeming about them. I'm sure God can find something, but He's going to have to dig. And I don't think they're looking to Him for anything anyway. So.
I definitely didn't have any honor or integrity. It's one of the reasons I ended up cutting them out of my life.
No.
Took me too long to do it. Back to what I was saying, I was thinking about, how God uses hardship as a vehicle to move people.
Right.
Human nature being what it is, even if we're not where we're supposed to be in life, we'll stay there if we're comfortable enough. It changes, and so God uses hardship as motivation and a vehicle to move us to where we need to be in life.
You know what He did with me and Dinky? I remember standing in that pasture over his body, flipping God off and telling him how much I hated him, but that was the reason that I got saved. Because I lost Binky.
Well, all this happened and, passed away, and that immediately brought me back to God. That was the first thing I did was beg God to take me and spare her.
Well, everybody who loves somebody will do that. So
I haven't stopped praying.
No, if you love somebody, you would rather take their pain than have them have it.
Yeah, I would have died for her, but I've told God, I said, I see what you did. You immediately brought me back to you, and that I had strayed for a long time, and message received. My eyes are open. I just wish it didn't have such a high price attached to it. And it's just, I don't know.
Sometimes you have to look at why it was taken, and it was her time. God knows what's going to happen to you when you're born. He knows every moment of your life that's coming. So,
I know He has a plan, and every day I've been reaffirming to myself and reassuring myself that I have to be patient and maintain my faith and have faith that He has a plan for me, whatever it may be, and it will be revealed in time. And that all
I hope so.
is be patient and maintain my here and trust.
Well, you got to trusting. You got to maintain your sanity. You got to maintain your cool. And like Xavier told me, when he was in jail, the only thing that saved him was trying to keep a sense of humor about the situation, even though it was terrible.
I don't have much of a sense of humor anymore, to be honest. A very large part of me died when she did.
No.
And I'm not the same person anymore, and I don't think I ever will be. And just, there's some wounds that just don't ever heal.
Well, I'm assuming that they are treating you for PTSD because you found the body, not to mention everything else that went along with that.
No, not treating me for anything except my blood pressure.
Well, they need to do the PTSD because you're not sleeping.
Well, you know, I keep telling myself that I have to maintain my faith. Without faith and trust in God, I have nothing, and therefore I'm keeping that, you know?
Well, just remember that not everybody knows who God is, and not everybody who's walking around is not a demon. Some are demons.
I keep telling God that I trust you and I have faith in you. Please deliver me from this. Please deliver me from the people who are trying to destroy me. And I just want to see my parents again.
Well, we'd like to see you too. It's been awfully quiet without you.
How can you say that with the dogs?
What?
I asked your mother, I said, how can she say it's been quiet with the dogs?
Well, relatively, I guess. But,
well, yeah, I mean, you know, nobody to say, hey, are you making ramen?
Yeah, that ramen was a big hit, even with, you know, I used to remember she would have such a mischievous little evil smile on her face when I made a fresh bowl of ramen, and she'd try a bite and then steal the rest of the bowl and walk away while staring evil looks and smiles at me. I miss that.
Well, she was a very special child, and I wish this had not happened that way, and I wish a lot of things had not happened the way they happened, and you know what I'm talking about?
Yep, me too.
So I don't understand that. I don't think there's ever anything that anybody could say to me that would make me understand that. So I'm not even going to go further than that into it, but just know that I don't care what you did. There is nothing that would make me hate you. There is nothing that would make me turn my back on you.
Well, I appreciate that, Mom. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome, sweetheart.
And, you know, just going up for visits and bringing new snacks or new treats for her to try, or showing her new video games or her games and things like that. You know, I miss that.
Oh, you got the 1 minute notice.
Yep, there it is again. Well, I'll try to call back in another 15 minutes, but you know the deal. If you don't hear from me then, I'll try to call back in another few days.
Okay, we'll catch up to you then.
Love you, honey.
Right. Love you too, and I'll try again in 15 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Hey,
Hi.
Hey,
Yes.
okay. Anyway, yeah, you know, just getting back to what I was saying, just faith and trust, and, you know, message received.
I guess if there's one thing that we wish for is that you had come to us sooner, that you had come to us and let us know what was going on.
Well, unfortunately, I was suffering from a bit of cowardice.
Yeah, but well, hindsight's always 20/20, and can't do anything about it now. But, you know, this thing
It's bigger because of it.
it's a bigger problem because of that, and again, not sure what would be any. I'm sure there would be some things different if you had chosen that path, because there's obviously nothing we could have done without. Well, there's nothing we could have done. I mean, there was only one choice, but we could have talked our way through this. I mean, the phone call that you made to me earlier in the afternoon, if you had at least shared that, we could have talked our way through that and figured out a much better solution than whatever whatever you guys came up with, because none of that was believable. And I was thinking earlier today or yesterday that somehow I feel that you were forced into this, and I don't know, and that's just my speculation, that you were compromised and you were forced to participate in this, and as soon as you gotten away from the rest of them, you should have called me, and we could have discussed this, and the outcome would have been a lot different than what it is right now. But
I don't want to get your hopes up, and as I said, don't get carried away with any conspiracy theories, but in a way I was compromised, and when all that stuff was happening, I was not in my right mind anymore.
Yeah, well, I understand that, and that's when you probably should have just called me and said, hey, I've got a bit of a situation here, and
that would have been a rational thing to do, but at that point I was no longer capable of rational actions or thoughts.
Yep, I understand. Yep.
Capable of it. I had no control over my faculties anymore. It's like the motor was running, but there was a screaming chimpanzee behind the wheel.
Yeah.
I understand that. I don't understand lack of emotion.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it wasn't like she was catatonic. She was talking in a normal voice. The only thing that showed any emotion at all was jiggling her leg, but she did that anyway. So
yeah,
I guess yeah, she was anxious because she was lying to her teeth. That's okay.
Don't get your hopes up for any conspiracy theories or vast conspiracies. Just understand that anything I did was not done while being within my rational mind. I had snapped at that point.
Okay.
And I wish I had done the correct thing to begin with. I wish I had run downstairs and shaken her awake and called 911 and all that. And deserved
I wish you had too. I wish you had too. Maybe she could have been saved, but
she was beyond that.
Okay.
When someone's that ice cold and just gone.
She was in a different part of the house?
Yeah.
She wasn't with you?
Well, she had gone to be with me earlier in the night, but I left her alone for quite a while I was sort of just walking around and, haunting around the house like I do. Sometimes I go out for walks at night, or I'll just sit on the couch and just fiddle around on my phone, or just, I don't sleep well at night, especially when I've got to be up early and do something the next day.
Yeah.
And that was the case. So by the time I realized anything was wrong, it was
she was in a different part of the house when you found that out?
She was still upstairs.
Oh, she was upstairs. Okay.
Yeah, I left her alone there.
Oh, okay.
I had gone downstairs for a while, and by the time I realized anything was wrong, it was just far too late. She'd been gone for a while.
Okay.
Just seeing her pale face and blue lips and how ice cold she was, and it's great.
I was going to stay with you. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I remember seeing my brother when he had passed away, and that's the last thing I remember seeing of him. And so,
Yeah, you know, it's just, you can tell.
yes, you can. My dad, yeah.
It's just, when they're gone, really, really, truly gone, it's just, there's nothing you can do. There's no coming back.
yeah,
No, there isn't.
She was past the point of no return.
yeah.
Well, I tell you what, given the crazies of the grandmom and already starting to call her a Gordo, she would have been the next one on the list for gastric bypass, but I just think, you know, maybe God just delivered her out of a place that was going to become really bad for her.
I mean, I always knew that life was going to be hard for her. Her mom certainly didn't do her any favors, and since I had no say in the matter of how she was raised or disciplined or anything, there was nothing I could do about it but sit back and watch the train wreck as it unfolded.
Yeah, and she's trying to tell everybody that was a little angel and she had no problems with her, and you were already telling us that they were butting heads like two Rocky Mountain rams.
Yeah, they had gotten physical on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, I figure they did that again. But okay.
You know, I often played mediator between the two of them because I was the only one that could talk either of them down when they started going at it with each other.
Yeah, I know.
Where were the roommates when all this is going on?
You know, upstairs, you know, doing their own things.
Was all that screaming and yelling and crap going on?
Yeah,
I'm surprised it's
kind of, honestly, it wasn't that far out of place in that house. You know, was often given to yelling or loud crying or outbursts, and it was given to yelling and screaming and coming down on people. It was happening a lot more and more often, which is why I kept trying to tell you know, I think maybe your meds are becoming less effective. It seems like you're becoming more erratic and more unstable. It seemed like the more stable I became, the more unstable she became, like we switched places.
Well, I always told you she was a black hole to need. Well, there's nothing to do about it now, but what I hate the worst is that she's sitting in a hospital having 3 meals a day, clean sheets, television, access to phone, reading, walking around free, taking a shower by herself, and you're sitting where you are.
Yeah, I guarantee her food's probably a lot better than mine.
Oh, I guarantee there's a lot of stuff that's better than yours.
Well, it'll all come out in the wash.
Yeah, well,
Hopefully.
a very, 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 very slim chance of doing anything about any of this, and I'm praying to God and asking for His help to make it possible, but...
Well, how about giving up the chivalrous part and lay some truthisms on?
What's that?
I said, quit being so chivalrous and protective and start laying some truth bombs on her.
You know,
There's truth bombs there.
yeah, maybe none as groundbreaking or bombastic as, you know, you might hope for, but there are some truths there, some ugly truths and some not so pretty truths, but you know, I guess I reacted to everything the way I did because I wanted to shield her. I wanted to keep her from getting any blowback or anything, but
You shouldn't have. You shouldn't have, because that left them only one person to lay everything on, and that was you.
yep. And you know, I should have just done the correct thing from the get-go and let the chips fall where they may. But I couldn't stand the idea of losing them both horribly like that. And I lost them both anyway, so it was pointless.
Yeah.
There was just so much agony and so much pain, so much shock and so much trauma. My mind was just numb. it wasn't me anymore. I wasn't in control of myself anymore. I was doing things that I wouldn't do. I wasn't acting or thinking rationally. It was just panic and fear and...
Yeah, I can't imagine.
You know, Stephan, I can't help but get the feeling that none of this that was on the phone was a surprise to
She was aware that I had certain feelings towards me.
Yeah. Well, then why was she considering they would sleep with you?
She used to joke about it, call it an electric complex. Used to joke and say, you better not leave me for my daughter when she's older, things like that. Laugh about it, and they used to both ogle over me and comment on me and talk about me together and giggle and talk about how nice I looked, and it was not an appropriate situation.
No, it wasn't.
And, I always had an issue with boundaries. She never respected any boundaries that I tried to set. We got in arguments on more than one occasion about the sleeping arrangements, so I, would beg her, please make her go sleep in her own room, and she said, well, no, it's easier this way for me to wake her up when she's near me, and it's like we didn't have any privacy, and just didn't have any space to ourselves. And she would suggest, well, maybe you should go sleep in bed instead. And it's like, it's like a twin bed, and I'm 6+ feet, and no. Why would I want to do that instead of sleeping in our king size bed? I should have broken up with her a long time ago and just distanced myself.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Should have, would have, could have. Hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah, it seems to be my superpower. Useless superpower. Captain Hindsight.
Well, you certainly didn't appreciate it when I told you that.
No, I certainly didn't. Typical, kid trying to make their own way or have their own ideas and realizing only too late, how valuable their parents' advice really was.
Yep. Well, this is a shit show that rivals a pigsty.
Yeah, this is not something that you recover from.
None of us will ever recover from this. Ever.
1 minute remaining.
It's not recoverable. Okay, you got your 1 minute warning, and they're probably not going to give you a fourth run at this.
Yeah, someone's screaming in the background right now, too.
Okay, honey, I hear them. So, you going to try to call back tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll see if I can call back in the next couple of days. I've probably got about $18, $19 left on the phone account, and I've got like 17 cents left in the commissary account.
We'll try to do something about that.
Okay.
When do you need to have the commissary replenished?
What?
When do you need to have the commissary replenished?
Whenever you're able to, I guess. I did get a pad of paper, though.
Nice.
You think of what?
He got a pen and paper.
Oh, okay.
I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in the next couple of days.
All right.
Okay, we love you too, honey. Bye.
Bye.
What'd you think of that one? Leave your thoughts in the comments on YouTube. And if you're listening to us on our podcast platform, you can leave a comment there. We'd love to hear it. Or hop on over to our YouTube channel, Hitting Killers with Tony Bruschi, and join in our conversation there. I think we heard a shift in that call. Stephan begins using religious language, framing his situation as a test from God and asking for deliverance. Because doesn't God send you tests like going and effing kids? I don't think God's sending you that test, Stephan. And there's no passing or failing such a test. It's just fail. While faith can be genuine and even redemptive, it can also become a shield, especially for those who want to reframe a narrative without confronting the harm that they've caused. Just bring God in and all your sins are washed away. You can F kids all day and God will forgive you, right? That's what he is liking to cling to, and I think his parents trying to navigate that. His parents, though still sympathetic, I think are beginning to ask more direct questions, but in Stephan's responses, he stays very vague, spiritual, and slippery. It's a disturbing mix of theology and denial, and it leaves more questions than answers. What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments on YouTube. Be sure to press subscribe wherever you are downloading podcasts, or if you're watching us there on YouTube, press subscribe, hit the bell. And like I said, leave us your thoughts in the comments. I'm Tony Bruschi. Stay with us.
Want more on this case and others? Then press subscribe now and don't miss a moment of true crime coverage from Tony Bruschi and the Hidden Killers podcast. This is Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi. Here now, Tony Bruschi.
Welcome back as we continue to break down the jailhouse calls between Stephan Sterns and his parents. Stephan accused of being the murderer of Madeline Soto, charged with first-degree murder. Also charged with child exploitation because he had been sexually abusing her for years and had tons of that stuff on his phone, including images of her and him. That's the type of person we are dealing with here. From a psychological standpoint, it's fascinating to listen to these calls as he slowly tries to manipulate the last two people in his life that care about him into being on his side as the evidence grows darker and darker. In this one, Stephan talks about glasses, candy, and the prison commissary, like he's navigating a minor inconvenience, not a capital murder case. But then, a moment of honesty. He reflects on regret. On the phone, he's hurt. It's fleeting, but it's kind of there. Or at least he's acting like it is. His father, meanwhile, is doing mental math on the likelihood of conviction, saying you're pretty much effed on the other stuff, meaning the child exploitation charges, because the evidence is the evidence. It's there. It's pictures of him with Madeline. He's a child. He's not. There's no question about what was happening there. And just like that, we're snapped back into reality. This isn't a misunderstanding. This isn't a wrongful accusation. It's something much darker, and it is closing in fast. As we listen, write in the comments what your thoughts are on what's going on here. Be sure to press subscribe as well so you don't miss our continuing listening session to these calls and the coverage that we're bringing on this case and many others. Let's take a listen.
Solutions. You may begin speaking.
Hey, is this okay to call you now?
Yeah, I just finished up with some customers, so good timing.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I was worried that you'd probably, because I know the weekends are busy for you. So we have a little under an hour before the phone system turns off.
What time does it turn off?
4:30 until 7:30.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I got time.
Okay. So I just used the commissary kiosk, and I looked into the reading glasses. They're $11.50 a piece. And they start at 1.25 and step up in quarter increments all the way up to 2.5.
Yeah. So what do you think? 1.5?
1.5. I guess I can start with that.
Yeah. Do you get a chance to try? I guess you don't get a chance to try tomorrow, right?
No.
Okay. Well, let's try 1.5.
Okay. We'll try 1.5. I'll make that on my next order. I'll need some money account bill if you want to put some in today.
Yeah, I'll give myself a reminder and make sure I do that.
Yeah, because I did make an order, but there's no money in the account, so the money won't pull out until tomorrow morning. So we're going to put some in tonight. It'll be fine.
All right. Let me make myself an alarm.
Okay. I got myself some more coffees, a couple more sleeves of saltines, and some more root beer barrels. And I got myself a little treat. I got myself a little box of fruit punch beverage mix.
Okay.
And on my next order, I will get some reading glasses and see how that goes for me. Can't believe I'm already looking into reading glasses. I feel like an old man.
Oh, you're getting old. Hey, question.
Yes.
When you left town to go to Kissimmee, what time did you leave?
It was in the afternoon. It was a Sunday. Sunday.
Well, like 4 o'clock?
Yeah, maybe 4 or 5 o'clock-ish, something like that.
Could have been later, 6 o'clock?
Maybe. I don't think I got to Kissimmee until around 8:30-ish.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That sound about right?
I was curious as to, I don't know if I said goodbye to you when you left. You said something about when I get back we would go shooting, so I guess we're not going to do that now.
Yeah, believe me, I'd love to go shoot. Sorry we didn't get to do that.
There's a lot of things not going to be doing.
Yeah.
I don't think they do pizza in prison.
No, that's one thing I'm not going to get. Or Taco Bell, or, you know, I always said that life isn't so bad as long as you still have pizza and tacos. I don't have those.
Oh, they're opening up a Del Taco in Port Charlotte.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Yeah.
Missed that.
Yeah, I think they're opening it up down the street from Arby's.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, I saw thought of you right away.
Yeah, well, it's right that you should, because that definitely would have been exciting news for me.
Yep. I just feel so sad sometimes.
Me too.
Yep. A lot of people getting the backlash from this. People here anyway.
Yeah, and pray to God.
A lot of hurt going around everywhere.
Yep. Just, one of my biggest regrets is that I've been so cavalier and so careless with the people that cared about me and that relied on me to be better than I was.
Yep.
One of my biggest and deepest regrets.
Yep. Unfortunately, there's no backstay, delete, and do over it. You know, for past that.
Well, I just keep praying to God to deliver me from this and give me a chance to do it right.
That's a big F.
Yeah, I know it's a big ask, and I told him even if I'm not worthy of it now, that I'll work my best to become worthy of it.
Yeah.
And I hope that you guys.
Well, the murder charge aside, I mean, you're pretty much fucked on the other side.
Potentially, yeah. Confirm or deny anything one way or the other. I'm trying to hold on to hope as best as I can, and see how the cards fall out here.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Anyone to follow up on where your order is? Is that possibility?
When I talked when I spoke to the mental health director, she said that she would check with the mailroom, but in case that she forgot to do that, which it's likely that she did forget, that you guys could also call the mailroom and check in with them and say, you know, hey, we're trying to send our sons from the outside. What's the deal with that?
Oh, okay. All right. Then I'll follow up on Monday.
Yep. So if you guys get a hold of the mailroom, you should be able to look into that and see what's what.
Okay.
I forgot to mention that last time. I'm sorry.
No problem.
But anyway.
So, well, this is a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to make sure that I called you before the phone system turned off and hoped that I caught you at a good time.
Yep. Yep.
Sitting in an open
You
house.
did. I just finished up with some people.
Are you showing houses or sitting at an open house?
No, I was just showing some homes.
Okay. So you're going back into the general side of things?
That's all I'm doing.
Well, I mean, I guess with the way the market is going down there, I guess general is not such a bad thing right now, huh?
Oh, much better. You're not stuck trying to sell a single product. You've got the whole market available to yourself.
Yeah.
You get to control the narrative.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I imagine that probably is a good deal right now, especially with the way, it's heating up down there, so.
Yep.
We should be there to help you out.
Well, me too, but can't dwell on that. We got to figure out what kind of path we can carve out it for you in the future.
Yep.
Maybe God has a plan for you.
Maybe I won't spend the rest of my natural life in these places, and if so, I need to have some sort of plan together.
Yep.
Some sort of resource to fall back on.
You're a smart guy. You articulate well. You get passionate about something. Maybe God has a plan for you.
Maybe. If I get to be free again, I've been thinking about that, Obviously, job prospects are going to be difficult to come by. I might need some sort of resources to help me get back on my feet immediately until I can work out the income situation.
Yeah. Don't know what that would be, but because
Maybe.
we may be gone by the time you get out.
I know. I don't know if there'd be a way we might be able to set up some sort of trust fund or something. I don't know. I don't know how that would work out, but maybe some sort of plan could be gotten together, but that's all conjecture until we know what's going to be what here.
Yep.
So.
Well, once we figure out what's what, then we can figure out what to do in the future.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
did you manage to find my watch?
No, not yet.
Okay, you probably haven't looked for it yet.
Well, if it's in the storage stuff, I'm not tearing that stuff apart because you can imagine I had to clean
The
them.
boxes that were in my room.
Well, we've been through the boxes and it wasn't in your room.
But you didn't look inside the mouse joy popcorn receptacle?
We went through everything.
So
and I can tell you it wasn't there.
So it wasn't in the mouse toy popcorn bucket?
Nope.
Damn, where is that watch? It's got to be in there somewhere. I mean, it wouldn't be anywhere else. I would have brought it with me.
Well, I can tell you that we went through everything, fine-tooth comb, and not there. What do you think that watch is worth?
At least in the condition that it's in right now, I mean, it needs servicing. It's probably overdue for service, but $1,200, a couple thousand maybe more.
Yeah.
If you find these certificates of everything that are in the stores, my Omega box is in there somewhere. That will help.
I think you're on target with the first number because Omegas don't get the value that Rolexes do.
Well, probably.
So
Rolexes do retain your value a lot better.
Yeah.
But I wasn't thinking about that. I just wanted something that was different and not a Rolex. Any a-hole with money
everything gets a Rolex, Doesn't require any taste or any knowledge. I like the fact that Grandpa had an Omega as well. I don't know. It seemed appropriate using his inheritance to buy the same kind of watch that he would have had.
You can't do what?
I said it seemed appropriate to use his inheritance to buy the same kind of watch that he would have had. Made me feel a little more connected to him, I guess.
Yeah, I don't even remember what his watch looked like. I know he wasn't wearing it towards the end. He was wearing some Timex, I think.
Yeah. If I had it to do over, though, I might have got something like a Rolex or maybe a Sergio Lecourt. Submariners are always nice and bright.
There's a lot of Rolexes out there, that's for sure.
Yep, there are. You don't see many JLCs, though. That's a little more offbeat brand. Or maybe I would have even gotten a ball. That would have been cheaper than the Omega. A lot more robust. Oh, well. That's things I would probably do differently. But, I just wish I'd been more careful with the people that I loved.
Well, maybe you'll get a second chance at that, but
Really hoping that
you got a big hill to climb up, that's for sure.
Yep, I know it's very thin chances, but I hope that you and Mom will pray for me to get that second chance. For God to hear my prayers in regards to that, to deliver me from this situation and from the people that are wanting to destroy me. Do whatever it takes to be worthy of that. Live in a more upright and virtuous way.
We got a minute remaining.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, if you want, I can try to call you again tonight. Otherwise, I can call you back in a couple days.
Whatever you want, we're available.
Okay, well, I'll try again tonight, but if you don't hear from me, then expect me within the next few days or so. Okay?
Okay, sounds good.
And don't forget to put some money into the commissary tonight so that the order will go through tomorrow.
I set an alarm.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I love you very much, Dad.
Love you too. Take care.
Give my love to Mom.
I will.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
What'd you think of that one? Stephan ends the call still focused on creature comforts, his watch, his reading material, his future plan, if he's ever released. It's surreal. It's also textbook disassociation. Tell me in the comments what your thoughts are. His parents, especially his dad, are trying to wrestle with both logistics and looming loss. You can hear their pain, buried under sarcasm, practical talk, and a desire to believe that maybe, just maybe, their son can come back from this. And part of them knows, and in moments like these, you can feel that creeping realization. Again, tell me what you thought in the comments. Be sure to press subscribe wherever you're listening to this or watching this so you don't miss any of our continuing coverage on this case. I am Tony Bruschi. Stay with us.
Want more on this case and others? Then press subscribe now and don't miss a moment of true crime coverage from Tony Bruschi and the Hidden Killers podcast.